Good morning, Teller County. I just wanted to update everybody as to what's happening at the Sheriff's Office and the issues with the ACLU. So the ACLU has spent a great deal of time and money into its efforts to prevent or weaken the ability of law enforcement and directly the Teller County Sheriff's Office in particular regarding enforcement actions against criminal illegal aliens who have been arrested and or jailed for committing crimes in Colorado. The ACLU's lawsuit, which was filed against me several years ago, in my 287G agreement with ICE has failed again. The 287G program that was at issue remains in place and active. Keep in mind that the 287G program exists to identify and remove criminal illegal aliens from our country after they have been arrested and brought to local jails on probable cause for violations of Colorado law. This program acts as a force multiplier to effectively identify non-citizens with criminal convictions or who have been arrested by local law enforcement in local criminal charges. I endeavor to retain every tool, whether local, state, or federal, which can help us to protect the life of people in Teller County, their property, and all forms of them having a peaceful life here in this county, from criminal illegal aliens who commit crimes in Teller County. During my time as a sheriff in Teller County, I have increased formal cooperation with ICE. I entered into a 287 agreement with ICE in 2019 to train officers as DIOs. And I've used it for long-standing intergovernmental service agreements with the Department of Justice to house ICE detainees awaiting their deportation hearings. These efforts helped me fulfill my statutory duty to keep and preserve the peace in Teller County. This came through a lot of hard work that dealt with a lot of the illegal marijuana grows in the beginning. The ACLU disagreed with my law enforcement priorities for Teller County. So the ACLU used the Colorado legislatures to advance its anti-law enforcement and pro-sanctuary state policies. First, the legislature passed House Bill 19-1124, written by the ACLU. Then the ACLU sued me in 2019 using the new law to try to ban my 287G agreement with ICE and argued that I did not have the legal authority to enter into the agreement with ICE. After nearly 6 years of litigation, the ACLU failed in its efforts. The District Court and the Court of Appeals both recognized my legal authority as a sheriff to enter into this cooperative agreement with ICE. However, based on House Bill 19-1124, the Court of Appeals held that the DIOs cannot arrest or detain any person who is already in the jail on behalf of ICE. Our new bill, SB 25047, has been introduced into the current legislature session to repeal House Bill 19-1124. To allow local law enforcement to cooperate with ICE if they choose to do so. Next, in 2023, the ACLU did not like my intergovernmental service agreement with the Department of Justice. That was entered into by previous sheriffs in 2000 to house detainees. So the ACLU wrote and helped pass House Bill 23-1100 that required me to terminate this 23-year-old agreement, but only for housing ICE detainees, not detainees for the Marshal Service or the Bureau of Prisons. The Colorado General Assembly essentially acted as the arm of the ACLU to pass these two laws to create a sanctuary state in Colorado for criminals. Recently, the ACLU sent a letter to all of the sheriffs of Colorado in which they misinterpreted their lawsuit against me and threatened to sue other sheriffs and their individual deputies if they don't follow the ACLU's demands. This is outrageous, but sadly, it's a product of the sanctuary state laws passed by this state's legislatures. I will continue to fight for law enforcement. To this end, I helped draft Senate Bill 25047, which will be presented before the General Assembly on February 11, 2025. This Senate bill will repeal House Bill 19-1124 and House Bill 23-1100 and reinstate the ability of sheriffs throughout Colorado to work with ICE, remove dangerous criminal illegal aliens from our communities. This bill will undoubtedly foster the ability of local law enforcement professionals to provide for the safest and most secure communications possible by working with our federal partners. So in closing, this was a synopsis of what we're dealing with in Teller County, but also as a state. And I want people to understand that my job is to keep the peace. And without those very needed partnerships with ICE and the different federal organizations, we can't do this alone. At the end of the day also, I'm tired of legislatures and the ACLU trying to tell law enforcement how to do their jobs. It's very nearly destroyed how we do our work in Colorado. And the fact is we've had such a rise in crime over the past few years that Colorado is not the same state that I grew up in. It's not the same state that I camped in the hills or saw the elk passing in the pastures, or even went to 16th Street Mall in Denver and was always amazed at the amount of people, places that were open, and the times that we were able to have there. I also remember a time when we didn't turn on the news and the only thing I see now is shootings or stabbings or crime that rages out of control throughout Colorado. And I'm sorry for this. But in Teller County, under my watch, I want it to remain a place where families can raise their children and that we can be free and willing to pursue our happiness in the ways we want to. So to that end, I will continue to fight for Teller County and what it all means. So thank you very much for the opportunity to do so for you. And I will continue to fight this battle wherever it's needed. Have a great day, Teller County, and I hope to see you soon.